back to Coffee with Kem and Hills. Okay, it's almost the weekend. We have the wind down tomorrow. Do you have any plans this weekend?
Not major plans, no. But actually, last night I had a fun surprise.
What?
My husband surprised us with tickets to a Broadway show, and I didn't know which one we were going to.
That's romantic.
It was very special.
So what did you see?
We saw Hadestown.
Amazing.
Which was nothing like what I was expecting.
Really?
Uh-huh. In a great way.
It.
First of all, the production was amazing.
Yeah.
The actors in it did a phenomenal job. But just so cool. Really cool storyline, and the music was phenomenal.
Yep.
The staging was beautiful. Like,
I heard it's amazing.
It was a really, really cool production.
So you had your weekend fun midweek.
Exactly. So it's done, it's over with, and then this weekend
back to business.
Yeah.
Except for tomorrow on the wind down. Like, that's like our one opportunity that we can count on, isn't it? It's like work and play. I love this like all-in-one situation we have going on.
Exactly.
Well, we have a good show today.
Yeah.
We have some good, interesting topics to dive into. So, what do you say we get started?
Let's do it.
All right, for Hot Topics today, we will first be talking about addressing America's financial literacy crisis. Mm-hmm. And we read an article from Kiplinger. And this, I feel like I've talked about this so much just in my life because I am the problem. I'm a product of this problem.
Well, I think it was interesting. They said 34% of Americans, only 34% of Americans could answer 4 questions about financial topics correctly. And
that's actually higher than I would.
I'm not surprised, but I think it's a little bit of
I just want to believe that less people, because that's where I fall in, the I know nothing category, but
Well, it's one of the reasons why we have ROI TV.
And why I believe in it. That's why I'm a supporter.
Because there is this financial literacy crisis, so this financial literacy problem in the U.S. Mm-hmm. And a lot of it stems from, people weren't taught this in school.
Yeah, it wasn't. Yeah, that's not a subject in school. But
it is now. There are some states that are requiring it as part of your high school education,
which is so promising. So in this article it said the Council for Economic Education found that the number of states that require high school students to take a personal finance course increased by 24% from 2018 to 2020. I wish the number was higher.
I wish it was closer in the 90s.
Because it's something that everyone needs and will use. Like, right? We were talking about this earlier. It's like, not everyone needs calculus or will use calculus, yet we're still all taking calculus. You know what I mean? So this is something like everyone needs to understand, even the basics like budgeting, savings interest rates, everything.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And you could dive into more complicated things. Say you started in junior high school.
Right.
We'd all be experts and we'd be setting ourselves up for a more profitable future. Mm-hmm. I don't know why this isn't a thing.
Well, I mean, I feel like back, and maybe this is incorrect, but I feel like back when my parents were going through high school, you did have more actual hands-on learning and like applicable subjects that were taught. Like there was home economics, there was wood shop, you had automotive, and I think it depends. It's obviously school dependent or school district dependent. Some
are like schools, more electives. You could kind of choose between some of them. They weren't, requirements.
And I think some schools did require you to take one of them, and those are very, hands-on, applicable things. And again, maybe you aren't going to use wood shop in your career or later on in life.
Yes.
But you know how to hammer a nail into a wall.
Yeah, it's everyday life things that are going to help. It really will help you out. When you're moving into a million different apartments and you're trying to figure out how to put the freaking TV on the wall.
But I think they did have some very interesting ideas. Mm-hmm. Interesting isn't the word for it, but really simple. Some simple ways that we can all combat this crisis happening in the U.S.
Yeah, and help the next generation of, people understand the basics a little bit to set themselves up for success a little bit more than we were.
Exactly. So the first one is to talk at home with your kids about money. So showing them and talking with them how any financial mistakes you might have made, financial wins that you have had in terms of
financial transparency.
Financial
we
transparency.
talked about this yesterday about how like maybe our parents, grew up in a generation where they didn't talk about these things as openly, and it's changing the way we think about this and being more transparent about our finances with our kids.
Yeah, and telling them, okay, here's the grocery budget for the month. We have this much money to spend.
Letting them be a part of it.
And letting them be a part of it. Yeah. So the second thing was to do at home
learning. Yeah, it was what is it? It's create an at-home project.
Create an at-home project.
This is one thing that we did do that has stuck with me was my parents, when I was pretty young, they opened a little, savings account for me at the local bank, the Fifth Third Bank in town. And
the Fifth Third Bank?
It's called Fifth Third Bank. I don't even know if it still exists. And it was on Main Street in Owasso, Michigan. It was just it was sweet. It's like a sweet, you just walk in, everyone's friendly. It's just, but, I would, whether it be from like allowance that I was making or the tooth fairy or whatever it is, they were like, if you save this, we're going to go put it in this, bank account and we can keep track of it. And I remember going in with the little coin packets. Yeah. And I was so proud. I'd been saving and saving and saving. They're like, when you get enough, we're going to like open this account. And we did. And we went in and I had like a whole thing of these little coin. And we sat down and, the bank teller was like, counting it for me. And it was just a very satisfying learning experience where I was really proud of myself seeing that I was saving money, and I think doing more of that is really helpful. It's a small thing, but it makes a big difference.
I totally
leaves an imprint.
Yeah, I think so too. And I know not everybody has that experience, but making sure that, we're all trying to do better for our kids. And so trying to have those experiences with our kids can really instill in them later on in life, or as they go through their lives, their foundation with money, and really to make sure that they are financially literate from a younger age.
Yeah. Well, and kids like to be a part of what you're doing.
Yes.
Don't they? So
at any age, sometimes it's helpful, sometimes.
Right. Welcome back. We are going to get started on our next hot topic.
So this one's an interesting one. Read an article from NBC Bay Area about how San Jose is going to consider liability insurance and an annual fee required for gun owners.
Right. And this was proposed after the Santa Clara Valley shooting, correct?
Yes. So this ordinance is being proposed by the mayor of San Jose. So currently, taxpayers pay about $15 per year.
The annual fee is projected to be about $25 a year, which isn't, I don't think that's not that crazy.
No, it doesn't feel like it's a huge impact.
No, that's not really a huge impact, but the point of it is to hopefully encourage gun owners to use safety precautions like gun safes and trigger locks. But
right, because paying for your insurance, if you get an insurance plan and you have these things as part of your gun situation at home, it brings your premiums down.
Yes, and they likened it to having car insurance, because if you own something that could potentially pose a threat to somebody or yourself, then you have insurance for it. So, but of course there's a lot of controversy around it. So we'll see what happens. But in the article, I thought it was interesting because they did say that taxpayers on average pay $151 a year as a result of gun violence. And that's tax dollars covering things like shooting investigations and court processing. So, they're looking out as well for the taxpayer. It's the little things. I think there's some people are saying that they don't think that this is going to impact, gun violence at all. But I don't know, even if it did 5%,
Right.
that's worth it, isn't
Right.
it? So funding generated from this proposal would support the work of a nonprofit that will seek to reduce domestic and gun violence. And this, they don't have a name, there's no name for it. It's apparently in development right now. But I mean, that could be a bigger picture. That could help even more people. So
Right.
at least it's going towards something that's taking initiative to help, the problem that we're, seeing in this country.
Yeah, and I feel like it's trying to be proactive with the money instead of just going back to the government where who knows what it goes to.
Yes.
So hopefully this is to help prevention, which therefore makes everybody safer.
Yeah, $25 a year going towards something that's, helping to prevent horrible things is, that's a small price to pay, I think. I don't know. What do you think? Comment below. We'd love to hear your thoughts on this.
Because this is a tricky subject.
It is, yeah.
There's certainly other side.
It's a hot button topic.
It's a very hot button topic. And there are people who are opposing this and do not want it to be written into law because, they feel like there shouldn't be impediments against having your Second Amendment rights.
Yeah. And that's what it feels like to some people. And it's a very controversial topic. So that's why it would be interesting to hear what people have to say about it.
Agreed. Yeah. Very, very interested. So please comment below if you do have anything to contribute.
We like to go into the most controversial topics first thing in the morning, don't we? We were both sweating a little bit before this segment started. We're like, don't want to upset anyone. Well, that is it for Hot Topics today. All right, we're going to go to a quick commercial break, and we will be right back, and I'm going to tell you all about the shows airing today. Welcome back. On Elder Talk, Jill will talk us through how to stay fit and healthy during these cold winter months. I need tips on that because all I want to do is eat and hibernate, right?
Yes.
Over it. Okay, well, we finished our 17 episode options crash course intensive, and now we will be moving on to strategy management. Now that he has taught the basics, those are some loaded basics, Dr. Jim is going to dive even deeper into these topics. On Browns and Suits, JP and Sal talk about the importance of knowing your product through industry research, product research, and how that will help you to better navigate your market. And there you have it. Thank you for joining us on another episode of Coffee with Kim and Hills. Hillary, take it away. Tell us where the viewers can watch all of these magnificent shows.
You can watch ROI TV on Roku, Fire TV, Apple TV, or on your mobile devices via the App Store on iOS or Android.
Y'all are going to have this memorized soon enough. Take care.
Bye-bye.